Dear learners, welcome to this session. So far, we have covered details regarding tribal social system, tribal social organizations, and units of tribal social system like subgroups, moiety, phratry, clan, and tribal family. In today's session, we will discuss tribal religion. Before understanding the concept of tribal religion, it is important to understand the concept of religion. So, in this session, we will try to understand the concept and definition of religion and explain the religious beliefs of tribes of Western India and Northeast India. Religion is a social phenomena which appears to exist in every society. It is woven into the fabric of everyday social life. It has immense significance in the life of an individual and in the social group. Scholars have argued that it gives meaning to human life and provides relief from the hardships of daily life. Religion serves a central and crucial function in society, supporting what has been variously called social integration, social solidarity, and social cohesion. In sociology, the concept of social integration refers to the ways that different groups come together to form a whole in society. It might refer to cases when minority groups become part of mainstream society. Social solidarity emphasizes the interdependence between individuals in a society, which allows individuals to feel that they can enhance the lives of others. It is a core principle of collective action. It is founded on shared values and beliefs among different groups in society. Social cohesion refers to the extent of connectedness and solidarity among groups in society. It identifies two main dimensions: the sense of belonging of a community and the relationships among members within the community itself. Religion is an all-pervading supernatural phenomena in man's life. Johnston defines religion as a system of beliefs and practices by which a group of people interact, interpret, and respond to what they feel is supernatural and sacred. Various sociological theories provide the relationship between religion and society and argues that religion is the creation of human beings. Émile Durkheim, a French sociologist, wrote a book in 1961 titled The Elementary Forms of Religious Life, in which he analyzed the origins and causes of religion in society. He studied the rudimentary forms of religion of various primitive groups of Australia and North America. He tried to explain religion in the complex societies through the study of organization of religion in simple societies. According to him, the most elementary form of religion would be found in those primitive tribal communities which are having an elementary social organization. Thus, it may be said that religion is the human response to the apprehension of something or some power which is supernatural and supersensory. It is the expression of the manner and type of adjustment which is affected by people with their conception of the supernatural. Religion had been regarded as a product of civilization. Religion is derived from the Latin word rel igio, which itself is derived from either the root leg, which means to gather, count, or observe, or from the root lig, which means to bind. All religions consist of a mental attitude regarding the supernatural. The most widespread manifestation of this attitude is in the shape of beliefs and rituals. All religions, primitive and modern, have this base of beliefs and rituals. Rituals consist in the observance according to a prescribed manner of certain actions designed to establish liaison between the performing individual and the supernatural power or powers. Beliefs are a charter for the rituals. These beliefs ensure that the rituals will be observed. According to functionalists, the function of religion is the contribution it makes to meeting functional requisites such as social solidarity. Durkheim, a functionalist, defines religion as a unified system of beliefs and practices related to sacred things, that is to say, things set apart and forbidden. Malinowski, another functionalist, sees religion as reinforcing social norms and values and promoting social solidarity by dealing with situations of emotional stress which threaten the stability of society. According to Durkheim, there are two basic components of religion, that is, the beliefs and rites. Beliefs are collective representations which are products of the underlying social structures. Rites are the operative part of the belief system, that is, various modes of action which are produced by beliefs. Durkheim emphasized the positive function of religion is binding the society together as it is a group phenomena. He classifies beliefs into two separate spheres of sacred and profane. Sacred is the most fundamental religious phenomena which is set apart and forbidden and considered holy. Sacred is the most respected and placed in higher position compared to profane things. Profane is opposite to sacred and refers to the mundane aspects of everyday life. Karl Marx, a German philosopher, developed the critical theory of religion, which was primarily dealing with the political aspects of religion. Marx sees religion as an illusion which eases the pain produced by exploitation and oppression. In Marx's words, religion is the sign of the oppressed creature, the sentiment of a heartless world, and the soul of soulless conditions. It is the opium of the people. From a Marxian viewpoint, religion does not simply cushion the effects of oppression, it is also an instrument of that oppression. It acts as a mechanism of social control, maintaining the existing system of exploitation and reinforcing class relationships. Marx was more concerned with how religion generated a consciousness of the existing social reality, thereby normalizing and justifying the unequal social structure and giving people an illusory happiness. Marx was not only theorizing the relationship between religion and society and how does religion affects human behavior, but he was also addressing how to change the unequal structure of society which is disguised in religion. Max Weber, a German sociologist, developed a theory of religion in which the economic relevance of religion is demonstrated. In his book, The Protestant Ethic and the Spirit of Capitalism, which was released in 1948, he assessed the contribution of Protestant ethics in the development of modern economic system of capitalism. Ram Ahuja describes religion as the interaction of living beings with symbols having assumed supernatural power. It is a two-way process. It deals with worship of supernatural. It also comprises of beliefs, rituals, taboos, myths and codes. Now let us see the early tribal religion. The earliest anthropological theory about primitive tribal religion, seeking to trace its origin and explain it, was given by Tyler. According to Tyler, primitive man had certain experiences. In his dreams, he engaged in various types of activities even while he is sleeping. He meets his dead ancestors in dreams and have hallucinatory experiences about them and other beings while he was awake. He hears the echoes of his own voice. He sees his own reflection in ponds, pools, and rivers, and he fails to disentangle himself from his shadow. There must have been some unseen thing in him which must have escaped, unseen, making him dead. It was thus that the belief in such an unseen thing or power which kept people alive when it was in them and made them dead when it left their bodies emerged. Such a thing or power is called soul. Tyler says primitive man must have thought there must be two souls in a human being, a free soul which could go out of him and have experiences, and a body soul which, if it left the body, resulted in its death. Primitive man must have come to the conclusion that when the body soul left the body permanently, the person concerned died and his soul became a ghost or spirit. This belief in the soul is called animism. According to Ramanuja, animism means a belief in individual spiritual being. The concept of animism first arose as a result of difference between the dead and the living. Each person is presumed to have a physical life and a phantom life. The basic tenets of animism are phenomena of sleep, dream and death, phenomena of possession, beliefs in spirits and ghosts, and magic. Tribal religion, however, includes much more than animism. There is, for instance, the belief in a high god. The high god is a personal deity separate from and altogether superior to all other deities and spirits, the master and often maker of the universe and of men, the creator and guardian of the moral code, master over life and death, himself benevolent and immutable. In most tribal religions of India, the high god is today regarded as an otiose deity, that is, he is invoked but rarely worshipped. He has become a distant deity who leaves the world and men at the mercy of the minor deities, the spirits and demons. Any primitive tribe have special rites of veneration for their ancestors on the occasion of a death or on certain feasts. All primitive tribes are convinced of the survival of the human soul after death. They may believe even in a plurality of souls, the shadow, the life spirit, the ego. Each soul has its own fate after death. The belief in the transmigration and reincarnation of soul is fairly widespread. Many tribes assume that the future life is determined by the good or bad. The tribals have developed a largely magical world outlook. They believe that the whole world and every individual life are mainly governed and directed by superhuman powers, personal and impersonal. But they also maintain that these superhuman powers can effectively be influenced and controlled by means of magic and exorcism. In particular, tribals believe the cure of diseases is in the hands of magicians who, by their divination or while in trance, indicate the nature of the disease, its natural and supernatural cause and means, and rites by which a cure can be achieved. The tribals are well aware of the fact that some diseases have natural causes and can be cured by natural remedies, of which they know quite a lot, but they suspect that many cases of sickness or accidents are caused by supernatural agencies. The tribals also believe in the existence of many evil spirits which have never been human beings. There are also spirits animating trees, rocks, rivers and springs, hills and mountains. They may harm a human being if they feel offended or if offerings due to them have not been fulfilled. If a person falls sick or has a misfortune, the tribals consult diviners, exorcists, and magicians to discover what deity or spirit has been offended and how to appease it. Tribals believe black magic is frequently responsible for much sickness or misfortune among the villagers. Black magic can be counteracted, however, by white magic. Tribal religion is based on oral traditions. The tribes express their beliefs in everyday language. Their rituals are aimed at solving day-to-day problems of life. Objects of worship are things of nature, such as trees, rivers, mountain, sun, moon, and earth. Offerings are usually in the form of food and drink, domesticated birds, and animals. Rituals are mostly performed collectively and transmitted orally. By the term ritual, which has been interchangeably used with terms rites, ceremony, customs, one implies any non-instinctive behavior which is repetitive, symbolic, and meaningful. It stands for any formal actions following a set pattern which express through symbol a public or shared meaning. These symbols express sacred values which are demarcated from profane or mundane day-to-day activities of everyday life. The sacred is that which is superior to the ordinary, utilitarian life activities which falls in the purview of the profane. Tribal worldview is grounded in the natural events and life experience. Their cosmology is socially effective, that is, existential but uninterpretive. It lacks interpretability precisely because the tribes themselves have no metaphysical anxiety, that is, the anxiety to know about the reason for their existence and how and why the cosmology exists, but coming in contact with the complex forms of religion, they are now adopting explanatory tendencies. Now let us discuss the tribes of Western India and their religion. The Bhil are one of the largest tribes of Western India, living in parts of Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and Maharashtra. Many Bhil merge animism and Hinduism, and many are Muslims and Christians. There is a myth of descent from a tiger ancestor. The Jhabua Bhil and others believe in Bhagavan or Bholo Ishwar, who is a personal supreme god. They also believe in minor deities who have shrines on hills or under trees. Worship of Bhagavan is at the settlement's central sanctuary. There is a human-oriented cult of the dead whose main ritual is called Nukto and is practiced in front of the dead person's house. Nukto purifies the spirit of the dead and unites it with Bhagavan. Gotri's Parvez is the collective ancestor. The concept of a spirit rider is important in Nukto and Gothris. Parvez accompanies the spirit on part of its journey to the afterworld. According to Ram Ahuja, besides worshipping local goddesses like Kanyalo Mata, Bhed Mata, Piplahan Mata, etc., Bhils also worship Mahadev, Hanuman, Nathji, and Kesariyaji. Kesariyaji is worshipped by all the Bhils of Udaipur, Dungarpur, and Banswara districts. Some of the gods worshipped by Bhils are installed in temples, while others are installed in the peak of some hill without any shelter, but with a small flag fluttering over them. Almost every large hamlet has a small hut in which the image of one or other god or goddess is placed. The method of worship of Bhils include prayers, sacrifice, possession, and charm. Bhils have an intermediary person called the Bhopa, who form a medium between the worshipper and the worshipped. Bhils believe in the existence of spirits, ghosts, witchcraft, dreams, auspicious moments, oaths, and practice certain taboos. Traditionally, they believe in a pantheon of deities that over time absorbed Hindu gods. Important local deities include Wagdeo, the tiger god, and Nandervo, the god of agriculture, and Chagvam, the supreme deity. They also believe in an afterlife where one is reunited with family members, a pantheon of earth spirits that sometimes band together in groups, and malicious individuals that cause harm through sorcery and witchcraft. The dead among the Bhils were traditionally buried, but Hindu influences has meant that many are cremated and their remains are buried. People who die unnatural deaths, it is believed, can become malevolent spirits that can cause great harm, and those who die natural deaths become good spirits. Twins and babies with unusual deformities are also believed to cause harm and have traditionally been destroyed immediately after birth. Many tribes have priests that act as mediums, diviners, and healers and undergo a long training period. For serious matters, witch doctors are called in because they are said to have the power to battle sorcery and witchcraft. Among the important ceremonies are appeasements and exorcisms of ghosts, one of which is the exorcism of the cattle shed. Let us discuss the religion of the tribes of Northeast India. The hill people of the Northeast India, from the distant past up to the time of their conversion to Christianity, had a certain concept of religion. They believed in some spirit or powerful being which had its natural objects like stone, river, tree, mountain peak, etc. They believed that there were many spirits, benevolent as well as evil, which influenced the life of man. These spirits had to be kept happy by sacrifice. In every village there were priests who were conversant with process of offering sacrifices. The hillmen also worshipped a supreme god who enjoyed the highest position. Next to God, there were quite a large number of spirits and demons which deserved to be worshipped. These spirits are demigods and were thought to reside or haunt particular localities, village, river, stone, forest, mountain tops, and so on and so forth. In one word, the tribal people may aptly be called animists. They also worshipped the ancestors and offered sacrifices to please the soul of the dead. Across the golden heights of Assam, most of the eastern Indian tribal people have their own tribal god and goddesses and have deep respect for other faiths. Nearly all the tribal people believe in the existence of spirits that move nature and guide human actions. They give different names to them and worship them in their own distinct way. The priests occupy a very important position in the tribal society. No ceremonies are performed without them. Annual sacrifices are popular with the people in the hills. According to their beliefs, gods have to be worshipped with their favorite animals. The Khashi tribe of Meghalaya believes in the Supreme Being, but their religious rites and ceremonies are directed more to the appeasement of the numerous spirits by which they are surrounded, and also to keep their ancestral spirits pleased by prayers and offerings. The spirits of the hills and rivers also receive their due share in the form of animal or bird sacrifices. The Khasis are supposed to be great believers in augury and divination by means of broken eggs or an examination of the entrails of birds and animals offered in sacrifice. With the spread of Christianity and of modern education, these customs have tended to disappear. It is interesting to note that the Khasis had priests called Lendo only for the performance of worship for communal welfare. The other rites were mostly conducted by elders who had the necessary knowledge. Such rites were connected with birth, marriage, and death, and used to be strictly performed in earlier times. In every case, when a Khasi was faced by a crisis of one kind or another, he did not dare to depend on his own judgment, but sought the guidance of superior, unseen powers who spoke to him through the dumb language of omens and signs. One thing, however, should be very clearly borne in mind, and this is true not only of the Khasis but of the others as well, and that the tribal people in India live in constant dread of evil spirits which inhabit the world around them. This view does not seem to be wholly true. If one absorbs carefully the life of these people, one realizes that there is enough joy left in their lives, which the fear of spirits has never been able to quench. They resort to augury and magical practices only when they are hard pressed in life. And even then, they sometimes conform to established custom, not because they believe in it, but because this is what is done by everyone else under similar circumstances. Let us come to Naga tribes. The Naga tribes live in the mountains of northeast India. They believe in an earthquake god who created the earth out of the waters by earthquakes. The sons of this god now watch over mankind and punish those who do wrong. Other deities, without name or form, live in the mountains, forests, rivers, and lakes, who need placating as they are hostile to men. Omens and dreams are generally believed in. Witchcraft is practiced, and some men are thought to be able to turn into tigers. Head hunting was an important practice for fertile crops, depended on a sprinkling of blood from a stranger over the fields. Reincarnation is believed by many Naga tribes, and the dead are buried in the direction from which their ancestors have come. The doctrine of Jina or taboo involves whole social groups, villages, clans, households, age groups, in a series of rituals that may be regularly practiced or be the result of an emergency such as an earthquake. All the hill tribes of Manipur believe in the existence of a supreme being or God. They all believe he is the creator and sustainer of the universe, and thus worship him so that the soul may find its place in heaven. They also believe that those who live a good life in this world will have a good life in another world. They believe the Supreme Being is a judging God. It is a common practice among the tribals that whenever a critical case arises to be settled in the village court, the elders under the chairmanship of the chief ask both the parties to swear in the name of the Supreme Being, judgment upon the wrongdoer, which implies a fatal punishment from above within a certain period of time, is fixed before they act by swearing. The most important practices of swearing in the critical cases include biting the Raihai stone, which is a small black round stone, the abode of a war deity, kept on a pile of stones or platform at the premise of the village chief's house. The stone cannot be touched because if anyone touches it, he or she will face serious illness, even to the point of death or becoming mad. The biting of fresh soil of the disputed land, and the last is drinking the poisonous juice prepared from the plant of an eye, which is called eye tuidon. All of these are to be done while swearing in the name of the Supreme Being. After the ritual, if death occurs in one of the two families within the stipulated period of time, this is interpreted as revealing the wrongdoer and consequently the judgment of God upon his family. So, God is seen as a God of judgment. Sacrifices are offered to appease God for both individual and community prosperity and protection from any natural calamities. They have also faith in the existence of certain friendly and evil spirits. The abode of these spirits is stones, trees, rivers, streams, forests, and mountains. Thus, there are plenty of rooms for the embodiment of spirits in this thing, as found in the traditional religions of the hill tribes. They also believe in the existence of individual household deities who help the welfare of families, and individual paddy field deities who protect and bless the crops. They therefore offer sacrifices very often to these gods to appease them, especially during the time of sowing seeds, harvesting, and festival times. Illness is often conceived to be caused by the evil spirits. So, a physician, fortune teller, or sorcerer is called in to placate the evil spirits. Among the Kuki-Chin, the practice of a sacrifice known as Gampi in the forest is done to appease the spirit so as to release the soul of a particular sick person. Thus, the tribal traditional religion is centered on fearfulness. Ancestor worship was practiced among some tribes of Manipur, although some tribes only revere their ancestors. They also strictly observe taboos, jinas, and ceremonies. Omens, divinations, and dream are interpreted on all important occasions. In traditional tribal religion, the practice of sorcery, wizardry, and necromancy were common, and even today among the non-Christians, the same practice is found. Let us now discuss the religion of the Abor. The Abor is the general name given to tribal groups that lives in Assam and Arunachal Pradesh. The Abor have traditionally been animists. They practiced animal sacrifice and believed in a group of good and evil spirits. They consider rivers as gods and fear souls of deceased people who died unnatural deaths or who were not properly buried. For example, river nipongs or water spirits associated with women who died related to pregnancy, Ipom or offspring from Robo, the father of evil spirits, etc. Among the most prominent of the benevolent or good spirits is Benji Bama, who is a controller of human destiny. There are two main religious practitioners, Ipak Mary diviners and Naibo medicine men. They use incantations, that is, a series of words said as a magic spell or charm, and spiritual discernment, that is, the ability to judge well, to determine which spirits might be causing a particular illness or problem. Treatments involve herbal remedies, appeasement of spirits, and using signs, dancing, and special beads to exorcise the spirits. The big events for the Abor consist of the annual hunt and rice harvests. Most ceremonies are associated with life cycle events, such as initiations into the boys' and girls' houses and hunting ceremonies. Song, dance, and telling tribal myths and histories are important segments of these events. The Abor have a rich oral literature of legends, folk tales, ballads, and political narrations. In the afterlife, they believe the dead live on in a world that is not much different from the world of the living. At funerals, the dead are given possessions, food, and drink to take with them to the afterlife. Religion permeates all aspects of life in Northeast India. It basically is a community religion. To be truly human is to belong to the whole community, including the ancestors and creation. To do so involves the active participation in the beliefs, ceremonies, rituals, and festivals of the community. Another distinctive characteristic of tribal religion is that it doesn't have sacred scripture or scriptures as other religions do. The religious ethos is contained in the people's hearts, minds, oral history, and rituals. Tribal religion does not have an historical founder or reformer. Their religion is instead centered on earth or creation. In the tribal worldview, one cannot make a clear cut distinction between the sacred and secular, between religious and non religious, between the spiritual and material areas of life. There is a sense of cosmic oneness. In other words, all things are seen to fundamentally share the same nature and same interaction with each other. So, learners, in this session, we discussed the meaning and definition of religion. Explanation has been given on the different forms of religion practiced by the tribes in Western India and Northeast India. In the next session, I will discuss about the religion of tribes of Central India and Southern India. I will also discuss the concepts of shamanism and Bongaism and the contribution of Hinduism and Christianity to tribal development. Thank you.